Well, hello, folks. This is Jeffrey Daugherty. Welcome to the Jeffrey Daugherty Show. I'm the Christian whistleblower. Glad to have you here tonight. It's Thursday. What day is it? The 12th of February. This will be our last show for the week. We don't broadcast on Fridays because, well, nobody listens to it on a Friday night. We'll be moving to a new radio network within the next couple of weeks. We're very excited about that. I was talking with the folks today. That's just about all set. Almost have the new website ready to come out as well. So we're very excited. A lot of good things going, a lot of good things happening. Just accepted an invitation to go to the Phantom Fest 2015. You can look at phantomfest.com. That's an Phantom. Yeah, that's in San Antonio in October. We'll be well into the Create Yourself tour by then. And if you would like to have me come speak to your group or to do a book signing, you can always contact me. ChristianWhistleBlower@gmail.com is probably the best place to get me for now. Or you can always contact me on Facebook at Jeffrey Daugherty Show or Jeffrey Daugherty. So I have some things I want to ask you ladies tonight. I don't know if you looked at the show description or read about it on Twitter, but tonight is ladies' night. And I just have some things I really want to ask some ladies. And I hope that some of you will take the time to respond to me. If you'd like to type in your questions, while we're on air, that'd be great as well. It's totally up to you. But, I'm 50 years old, and I have had a lot of relationships with ladies over the years, and I have failed marriage to show for it. I was married 15, 16 years. I can't remember. It was 15, probably seemed like 20 with the chill factor. But at any rate, a lot of interpersonal experience. And in my experience, ladies do not appreciate being put down. Ladies do not appreciate being talked down to. Ladies do not appreciate being discriminated against. And ladies are very smart. Ladies are very quick. Ladies are very intelligent. Ladies know what's going on. It's very hard to pull the wool over a lady's eye. There really is something to that whole women's intuition cliche, and a lot of things we don't realize. Cliches become cliches because they're so patently true. And the female energy, the female part of humanity is more tuned into the subtle, more tuned into the the feelings, and more tuned in to be able to read and understand and pick up things. And that's one of the reasons why ladies are more intuitive. So ladies, you'll have to help me out, because I am at a complete loss to be able to understand ladies in Christianity. I just don't get it. It's very, very hard for me. I was a pastor of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 churches. I was the kind of a pastor they'd send into a church that was failing, get it built back up to 100 or so, and then move on to the next one. Is really more of a church planting evangelist. But did that. How many churches was it? I was a pastor in Coeur d'Alene. I was a pastor in Albany. And I was a pastor in Idaho Falls, 3 churches. But at any rate, I spent most of my time as an evangelist. That was the guy that goes from church to church to church, stays a week, 2 weeks preaching, moves on. And one thing that I noticed, and if you think about this, I think you'll agree, whenever you're in a church, the majority of the women in the church, I just blew it there, the majority of the people in the church are women. Ladies make up the largest portion of church attenders, no doubt about it. And they also make up the largest part of devout church attenders. So I know from 20 years plus of experience that ladies are more devout. Ladies are the backbone, if you will, of the Christian church. There's always more ladies in church. They always give more. They always attend more. They always help more. It's just the way it is. I pastored a church that had 3 plumbers in it. Guess who fixed the pipes? It was me. If we had had a female plumber, I would have never had to do that. But at any rate, I just don't get it, ladies, because some of you are so dedicated to Christianity. Some of you are so dedicated to your churches. And I have to ask you why, as smart as you are, as intelligent as you are, why are you dedicated to, just explain this to me. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it's not permitted for them to speak. This is the Bible I'm reading from, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34. This is the great Apostle Paul. Ladies, he says, your women have to keep silent in church. It's not permitted for them to speak. They're supposed to be under obedience. Ladies, explain to me how you can continue to go to churches when that verse is there in the Bible. And if they want to learn something, he goes on to say in verse 35, let them ask their husbands at home. It's a shame for women to speak in the church. Are you kidding me? Ladies, you got to help me out. How can you continue to fill Christian churches, Catholic churches, Baptist churches, Pentecostal churches, churches from A to Z? How can you continue to fill those churches, ladies, when the guy that founded those churches said, women, shut up in church. Women, it's shameful for you to speak. If you want to know something, wait till you get home, ask your husband, because it's disgusting for you to talk in church. How can you go along with that? You've got to help me out. You've got to explain it to me. Now, if it was just one verse, I might be able to say, okay, well, it's just one time, and, we're trying to, be open-minded and stuff like this. But then I get to Galatians chapter 5 and verse 22. You can hear me turning the pages, even as we speak. And this verse says, man, I tell you what, I'm in bright light and my eyes are like, it's just crazy, isn't it? When old age begins to sneak up on you. I can't believe I got to walk over here and try to get to where I can read this verse. Galatians chapter 5. That's not the right reference. Oh, it's Ephesians. I'm sorry. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. And we're going to show you it's not just a one-off that Paul said something stupid. And Galatians 5, 22. Wives, submit yourselves to your husbands as unto the Lord. Treat your husband like God, ladies. Submit yourself. Put yourself in a place of lesser position to your husband. Not only can you have to shut up in church, not only is it disgraceful for you to speak in church, but you also have to submit yourself to your husband at home. Ladies, why do you go along with this? Help me understand how this is okay. Colossians chapter 3, verse number 18. Wives, submit yourselves to your husbands. Again, he says it. 1 Timothy also, chapter 2, and we're going to read from verse number 12. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse number 12. For I suffer not a woman to teach. The great Apostle Paul saying, I don't allow a woman to teach. I don't allow a woman to teach. It's in the book, folks. Read it. I'm just blown away. But that's exactly what it says. I do not allow a woman to teach, nor do I allow a woman to be an authority over a man. But to be in silence. And here's the part I really like. Here's the part I really like. Ladies, are you listening? Because Adam was not deceived, but it was the woman that was deceived and is in transgression. Do you hear that, ladies? You are filling up Christian churches Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. You are filling up the offering plates in Christian churches Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. You're doing the work. You're baking the bread. You're bringing the food. You're manning the nurseries. You're filling the pews. You're paying the tithes. You're giving the offerings to an organization founded by a guy that wrote in the book that is a foundation of your religion that you need to shut up in church, that he does not allow you to have authority over a man. He doesn't allow you to teach. You can't even ask a question in church. You need to shut the hell up until you get home and ask your husband for the answer. And of course, you have to beg and grovel and be in submission to your husband even when you get home. Ladies, how in the world have you accepted this kind of treatment for 2,000 years? I cannot understand that. That's what your churches teach. That's what the Apostle Paul taught. And that's what you are going along with and giving your power, your money, your time, and your acquiescence to. Ladies, please explain to me why, because I don't understand it. It's not right. You're better than that. Jesus did not teach that. Jesus had a lady named Mary Magdalene who was really the apostle to his apostles. Jesus gave a place of authority to Mary Magdalene. If you look at the writings of John, who was called the disciple that Jesus loved, if you look in 2 John, I'm turning real quickly before we run out of time, 2 John and 3 John, I believe it is, they're addressed to a lady preacher. They're addressed to a lady preacher. It's actually 2 John is addressed to a lady preacher, and it talks in the last verse of that about another lady preacher. So it's not Jesus and his original disciples that are against women. It's Paul and the church that he founded, which is now all the churches that you're attending, that's against women. And ladies, I've got to ask you why. I've got to ask you how you continue to go to those places and subject yourself to such idiocy. It's not even a word, but it ought to be. To such lunacy, to such sexist, blatant garbage. Ladies, you're better than that. You're smarter than that. You're stronger than that. And you deserve better. Think about it. Ask yourself, why am I going to a church? Well, Jeff, they don't preach that part of the Bible. Well, honey, it's in the Bible, isn't it? They say they believe the whole Bible. They believe it. They're just not telling you they believe it. And if they don't believe it, and if you don't believe it, then how can you believe the rest of it? It's time to divorce yourself from Christianity and align yourself with Jesus. I've given you a lot to think about. Write me, tweet me, Facebook message me. I want to hear from you, ladies, because I don't understand how you allow this to happen to you. And I want to do everything I can to stop it from happening to you, because it's like tying one hand behind your back. We are meant to be together in this thing, the males and the females, the strengths of each combined together, both of our hands, both of our arms, strong and vibrant and working together to do what Yeshua, Jesus, has called us to do. Well, until next week, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Write me at christianwhistleblower@gmail.com. Find me on Twitter. Find me on Facebook. Until next week, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, wishing you peace and light.